Today is July 14th, 2019, and welcome to another Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. It is Sunday. The high is going to be 91 degrees with a low of 70. Make sure you stay inside, stay cool, and stay hydrated. And always remember, stay classy, New York. All right, never mind. Down to business. All right. I just said the weather today, even though by the time this probably airs, it's going to be the day later. But welcome to another podcast. Appreciate you coming to share time with me. Anyways, it's summer. It's July. Today is going to be 91 degrees. So that's a level of acceptance. So I know to stay cool, probably stay inside. Don't go outside if I need to. Make sure there's air conditioning. I want to be prepared for this heat that's going to be out here. That's out here terrorizing people. But, you could go to the beach, go to the park. You can still enjoy some time outside. But today I'm talking about acceptance. Acceptance is the tone of the day, of the word of the day. I'm going to start, of course, with the definition. Accept or acceptance means to receive something. I accept this gift. I accept life, whatever it is. The second definition is to believe or to come to recognize an opinion, an explanation, something, etc., whatever it is, as valid or correct. Basically, something is what it is. You accept that we breathe in air. You accept that cars can go fast. It could, whatever it is that's true, you accept it. Now, one thing I do accept, and even though you accept something, you may not have to agree with it, but you understand the fact that it is what it is. It's the truth level to it. Now, I accept that New York City is too expensive. New York City is very expensive. I don't like it. Don't agree with it. What to say? Don't accept it. And to a degree, don't accept, but I'm going to get into all that too. I accept that it's very easy to get a ticket in New York. And the thing about acceptance is that you're not really a pushover when you accept things. It's just the fact it puts you in a mindset to understand something or someone. So now you can actually go forward and act or react accordingly. It gives you a ground of preparation when you accept. Because you could not accept things. And there are things that, we don't accept. A lot of things we don't accept. We have to look at what we don't accept and things that we do accept. And there are many things that we probably don't accept that we probably do need to. And that's because we may accept it doesn't mean, again, you're being a pushover or you're weak or you're allowing someone to get over on you. Acceptance really, it gives you a foundation to plan and move accordingly, like I just said. You could be, again, in New York, you may not like it. You may not accept it. You probably leave because you don't accept it. But you did accept the fact that it's expensive here. And so many people, they prepare themselves to know that X amount of my check is going to mortgage or rent or to even buy certain things. And they accept that. So they plan their days and their lives and their budgets and their actions according. But when people don't accept, you don't have any room to really plan. You don't really give you have no flexibility if you don't really accept things for what it is. And then negative incidents, actions, people may come and make your world topsy-turvy. They'll probably come and just give you all types of disastrous effects. Non-desirable effects will happen when we have the mindset of not accepting certain things. So even though we don't agree, or even though we take action for things we don't like, we have to learn to accept things for what they are. also have to accept people for what they are, because now you know how to move around people. You have acceptance. That means you will have a certain level of expectation now. So now you're utilizing your proper logic. You're utilizing your record and your experience with someone or with something. And now you know that I can expect ABC to happen because I accept something for what it is. Again, I'm not saying to be a pushover, but a great level of stress is brought about these things. We can't control everything. We cannot control everything. What we can control is ourselves. This is why acceptance is so important. Because as opposed to always putting your trust or even a certain level of hope or even a certain level of expectations, but you have to understand there's going to be that room or that good possibility, probability that something is not going to go the way you want it to go. So you have to make a plan A, make a plan B, plan C, D through E through the whole alphabet at times. Or you're going to have to know how to adjust. You want to be able to have that flexibility and preparation to be able to adjust if you need to, as opposed to, do it beforehand, as opposed to when it happens to you, now you have to scramble around and figure out a last minute plan to help you out. Well, like I talked about before, preparedness. Fortune favors the prepared mind, Louis Pasteur. And you can't plan for things or prepare for things if you don't have a level of acceptance, where you may know that I may get a flat. I accept that I may get a flat. It's not going to be smooth roads, especially here in New York, in Brooklyn. Lots of roads are full of potholes. It's like the Baja out there, in the desert. You might as well have one of those trucks with those modified suspensions to ride these streets out here. And there's a lot of crap people put in the streets too that'll puncture your tire. You have to accept that and know that I need AAA, or I need to have a spare, or I need to have a jack where I know if I need to change my tire, I can do it. I'm prepared. As opposed to driving around, boom, got a flat now. You have absolutely nothing to help you to change that flat. So this is what I'm getting at is basically you accept things, you have a certain level of expectations and you have a certain level of understanding the probability of something happening. So you have to prepare yourself accordingly to it. You have to accept the fact that people may not do things the way you wanted to. Or you accept the fact that some people are very, very dependable or they're really good at something. So you accept that, hey, this guy is very good at cooking. This person is very good at organizing, or this person, they got a truck and they're usually available. So if I need to move some stuff, I accept the fact that I'll call them. But then at the same time, they may be busy or may not feel like it. Okay, though, then let me make sure I have money set aside for a U-Haul or something. Okay? It's very basic. It's a very basic and simple attitude and habit to have, but we take for granted. Because you also need to accept your own self. And I think that's where a lot of people may fall short of, and a lot of people may be 50-50 or on the fence about certain things, because we all, of course, want to put ourselves in the best light possible. But you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest, first and foremost, with your weaknesses, things you're not that good at. You have to know I'm not on time with a lot of things. You're going to have to know that, I don't like being around crowds. You're going to have to know that, you know what? I do kind of flounder with when I tell somebody one thing, I tell someone else another thing. Many people don't have that humility where they have to understand that. And that's where everything boils down to, is humility, where you have to know, you have to accept yourself for who you are. But then now, if you know that certain actions from within yourself and from other people or other things and factors, you accept that. You want to change something. That means it gives you grounds to correct. You know how to plan. You know how to move accordingly. So things that you may fall short of, you accept yourself to know who you are, to know what you love doing. So you know what you love doing, what you like doing, what your strengths are, what your talents are. You will start to pursue things that better suits you in growing yourself. You got to accept who you are. You may also have to accept the fact that where you are may not be conducive to you growing. That's fine. You have to understand it. It's a step. We're not going to get everything we want all the time. So you accept that. You plan accordingly. You know, okay, I can't stay here, or I know there's a stepping stone. So you make plans. You accept the fact that things aren't going to fall the way I want it to. So I'm going to have to now step up and make it happen. You got to make it happen. What you need to do is take strong assessment in yourself. Once you can take strong assessment in yourself, you could assess other people much easier. And then by doing that, you're not setting yourself up or other people up for failure, because you can easily talk a good game, but then you don't back it up because you haven't accepted your weaknesses or even your own strengths. So how can you possibly even accept someone else's strengths or weaknesses? You're going to have false expectations behind that. That's going to cause problems. It's going to cause friction. It's going to cause chaos. So you have to have that level of acceptance to know this guy he's always negative. So you kind of prep yourself to know, or limit your time around that person. But they're always negative, but they do a good job with this. So now you have a balance and choices to make. Well, I'll deal with it. I know what to deal with. I just suck it up, deal with it. Okay, got my business done with them. Move on to the next thing. Okay. You learn to set limits for yourself, set standards for yourself. You need acceptance to plan, like I was just saying before. I'm just going over my little notes I do for my podcast. You do need acceptance for peace, because peace means, again, you accept things, not a pushover. You accept things for what they are. You know the world isn't perfect. You know you're not going to get billions of dollars in your bank. You know that certain people are going to fall short. You know it's going to be rainy days. You know a lot of things when you accept it for what they are, as opposed to just always opposing it, either being unprepared, one, or opposing it. The other side, two. When you realize that people may not be good for you, you need to separate yourself from them, or limit how you deal with them, or have a standard of how you deal with people and situations. Yeah, it's when I say you have peace of mind, you could get peace either wholly than people who really know how to accept things and just let things roll, and they roll with it. You know, like a beautiful kung fu master or aikido or whatever. One of those martial artists who just roll with stuff, and just dip and dive and move like water. Some people just got that in them. Some people, they develop that. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't. It's like, someone's throwing bricks at you, and as opposed to like weaving or just going out the way totally, they just go in the shower of bricks and they're beefing while they getting hit with bricks. So you got to find a way around that, man. You got to understand, hey, these bricks are here. If I got to be around it, I got to figure out, okay, I may get hit, or let me find somewhere to duck behind so they don't hit me. Or if I'm that really nice with it, I'm going to flow with it, and it's going to just dip and dodge through it. And you gotta accept the situations for what they are, because you will never have peace of mind. You will know things can happen and will happen and do happen, but if you don't really accept it, like, hey, it's what it is, let me just go forward, you're never going to get peace of mind. That's a terrible place to be, because the world already is not in the way it should be to help other people, to help everyone be their best person, be their best selves. By not accepting, you can't forgive. That's basically comes with peace. You have to know how to forgive. Again, you accept people for what they are. That don't mean you have to be around them. That doesn't mean you have to lower your standards. Granted, you have decent standards. That just means you know what it is. You know who you're dealing with. In the workplace, at home, whether you're out in the street, you know people are going to be rude in New York City. People are going to be outside in the summer in New York City. So it's one of them things that you just accept. It's one of those things that you have to accept. It gives you peace of mind. You can be a little bit more forgiving. You can be angry. It's okay to be angry. It's quite okay to be angry. But don't hold on to that anger, man. You got to let it go. And when you accept things, you don't accept things for how they move. You're not willing to let things go as much or let it affect you as much. If you're fired up for a change, then you go forward because you accept things for what they are, but you don't accept staying there. It's a difference. And then once you do that, you can proactively think of how you're going to make the change. Either you remove yourself from the equation or you implement the kind of change the best way you possibly can, or at least change as much as you can in your own power. So it's very important to move forward with everything that you do. If you're trying to accomplish any kind of goals, you have to accept certain things, that some things are going to take time. If you're trying to accomplish things, something's going to take money. It's going to take money to make money. You have to accept that not everyone's going to care about what you're doing. Everyone's not going to resonate with you. You have to accept that because you will take a lot less things personal. Sometimes when people have issues or they make things difficult for you or make a difficult situation or environment for anyone else around, you have to accept that that's how they are. As a matter of fact, they have a problem. Not so much that you're a problem. They have a problem that they would have to iron out. You got to try and figure out how to work with them or around them or away from them. See, by not accepting you become complaintative. We don't want to be complaintative because that is such an easy thing to slide into. In the world, people complain about a lot of things. I went looking for statistics to talk about, but the biggest complaint I see in America is something dealing with consumerism and fraud. We're all tied to each other. So much different thing. That's the biggest complaint is something dealing with that. So I'm like, I don't even bother cite any stats from a website or anything like that. So that's a whole other issue. That's, fraud is more information security, cybersecurity type thing. That's part of what I do and what I've done in the past. That's a whole nother can of worms. But anyways, you complain. When you complain, well, go into the word complain. Complaining is the spiritual issue. And I know a lot of people are not going to accept that because they don't really understand the impact of a lot of spiritual things that guide us, that impact us, that affect us every single day. Everything is resonance. Everything is energy. Everything is either stored energy or energy being broadcast out or energy being received in. Okay. When you complain, especially if you do it a lot, that means, you're not content. You're not content with what you have and what's going on. That's cool. It's quite okay because when you're uncomfortable, I talked about that, of course, before. Many things always tie into each other when I talk to. It's all related for growth. For growth, everyone's potential leadership they have to bring out there and to grow other people around them. But you're not content. So you want to make a change. You're not comfortable. So I might have to move or change something in myself or change something around me. Okay? When you complain all the time, though, you have no room for peace. You'll easily be someone who's argumentative. When you're arguing, you have beef and strife. I could understand why you're angry. It's a lot of things to be angry about because things are not the way they're supposed to be. Things are supposed to be a certain standard or certain level because this whole world, what we're in right now, is governed by laws. These laws we take for granted. When we walk outside on the sidewalk, every step we take on that sidewalk, that pavement, the grass, wherever we're at, there's laws there that are in place. So we know we can walk. I've talked about this before with no problem. But we breathe in air. The oxygen then goes into our lungs. Then the blood vessels go into our lungs and takes those oxygen cells and molecules to our body because we need oxygen to our organs and stuff. And then we expel the used up oxygen out. It's carbon dioxide. Those are laws. These are laws. Many, many other hundreds, thousands, millions of probably laws that we don't even think about. We take it for granted. But these are standards on which we make our world every day. We eat food. We go out on trips. We go to work every day. We wake up out of our bed. We go jump in a pool of water. Whatever it is we're doing it's governed by a set of laws. Okay? And when you complain now, you don't have any room for a certain level of acceptance and even gratitude, at least. So all your grumbling is actually just pushing any opportunity to grow right out the room. You're also actually causing yourself to be a negative amplifier, because you invite strife and quarreling and this anger all the time and have it unchecked. Again, when I talked about the laws of how everything happens, when we have a lot of negative things all the time, it impacts us negatively. Stress causes weight gain. Stress can cause baldness, right? Stress causes death. Always worked up. Your heart is always pumping. Make your heart work overtime for what? Cause yourself to get a stroke, high blood pressure. Getting worked up for what? I know diet is involved with those things as well, but also how about what we do? Because there's people who have what we call, I guess, healthy habits, but they're stressed people, complaining all the time, angry all the time. They have no real proper level of acceptance. They know what goes on, but they don't accept it to be like, let me chill. I got bills. Oh my gosh, I'm broke again. It is what it is. And I know I'm not going to say that everyone could have an easy peasy time. A lot of us go through a lot of strife, heartache, especially when it deals with bills, even relationships with people. Some people go through a lot harder situations in comparison to others. So it's a tall order to fill. That's a lot to ask someone to get over something, but I'm not asking you to get over it. Accept it for what it is and know there's a way out. It's not your permanent residence. It might be a destination, one of many destinations on your stop of life. Path. You got a path. You're going to have certain things along the way. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And good things don't last all the time. Bad things don't last all the time. But then how you react is based on if you accept things or not. That's the only real way you get proper success. Success is like when you have a proper good mental health, physical health, spiritual health. You're balanced out. You accept things. Why stress? You talk to people who's chill. They're not stressed. I was much more chill when I was younger. I was like, whatever. Granted, I didn't have a whole lot of direction with certain things, but a lot of times I'm like, what do you feel like doing? Let's go downtown. Sure. Hey, you want to get some Chinese food? Sure. That's a little bit slightly more finicky now. I'm still kind of like that now, but there was a point that I was very complainative. I was very, very complainative. Wasn't making enough money. Traffic's not going fast enough. Always something that's popping up financially. Trying to get something. I can't get it. Oh, some other thing happened. It was always something, boy. And then, you can't have that kind of company too around you that's going to egg you on, because you could be a bunch of people that's emanating negativity. I still complain here and there. Or I'll beef about things. I'll still beef about things. Old habits die hard, but I know I'm totally different from how I used to be. A little bit more accepting of things. Know how to have mental agility to be able how to move. I was in a job where it was very stressful. I had a couple of jobs where it was very stressful. More than a couple of jobs that was very stressful. Last one was hard, but taught me a lot about myself, what was in me too, that I probably wouldn't have ever gotten out of me in any other situation. So you have to understand what you're in. Don't look at it as just the negative things, man. There's good things out of it. I learned some great things about myself and how to deal with other people. I know I can manage and lead to a degree. I'm not the best all around manager, but, or I'll say, super duper leader with everything. There's certain things that I'm weak on, certain things I'm very strong on. But I like to understand and accept what people are about. I like to understand and accept the strength people have and the weaknesses people have. You have to be keen in recognizing that so you understand how to move with people. You can have proper fluidity with people, not clashing all the time like waves against the rocks. That's what's going to happen. You have to be fluid with people. You know how they're going to move. And you set the expectations for how you're going to move. You give and take, give and take. Just like, Tai Chi, or even Capoeira. When people are syncing and moving, it's a beautiful thing. Synchronicity and reciprocity. When you complain, there's no room for that whatsoever. Like I said before, it is a spiritual thing that you have to get past. Because if you're a complainative person, even when you get what you want, even when you have things that other people will highly desire, you will never be content. You would never, ever have that level where I'm at peace. Because you're so used to doing it. You're always going to find something wrong with something. And if you're only looking for something wrong, that's all you're going to see. You could have a big money bin, like, old school cartoon DuckTales, Scrooge McDuck and his money bin. You could have that. And then you will find like some lint in the corner and start beefing about the lint. Or you complain that it's not high enough. I need more money. Oh, this coin, why is this coin not as shiny as the others? You're going to find something to complain about. You got to work that spirit out of you, man. You got to get that out of you. It's not good for you. It's not good for everyone around you. And it makes yourself a lot less bearable to be around. I understand things ain't going to be how you want it to be. I understand you're going to be angry with what people do, but you have to understand you got flaws and faults too that people got to deal with. Now, if everyone was walking around, being complainative, this would be even terrible where you think things are bad now. It'd be worse than it is now. Just the same way you have to deal with people in situations, other people got to deal with you and other situations too. So the people who just chill, they don't like it. I don't like a lot of things that happens, but you know what it is. There's times when we're going over budgeting and stuff like that and then find out, okay, this is paid. Oh, something else came up. Wasn't expecting that. I get upset for a while, but about half an hour later, if that, I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Whereas the old me many years ago would have just been mean mugging, sour facing all day for no reason. There's no room for growth. There's no room for growth right there. And if you just always practice that feeling of not being content, you never will be content. Even when you get what you want, how you want it, when you want it. Because you're just waiting for the next opportunity for something to not go your way. It's not going to go your way. Traffic is not going to move how we're going to move. I get upset with people on the road. Don't get me wrong, because a lot of people out here drive really stupid. This is why New York City has very high insurance for vehicles. Brooklyn is one of the, if not the most expensive boroughs for insurance because of a bunch of knuckleheads out here. I accept that. So I usually try to move a certain way. I don't like traffic. I will drive longer to get away from main roads of traffic. I'll go down side streets to avoid traffic. That's my level of acceptance right there. I accept it. I know what it is. If I know I'm going to go this way, I'm sticking this way, it's going to be traffic. Let me just prepare myself. I'm going to be on the road for a while, longer than I want to. Or, you know what? I'll take this route. I much rather would be driving in more free-flowing traffic than be stuck in traffic. Or if I got to go somewhere, let me go a little bit early. I personally love to drive early in the morning on weekends and holidays because a lot of the people who cause trouble, they're still sleeping. Peace of mind when you're on the road. And to have that in New York City, boy, that means you know something about this life that's valuable. This is why I'm talking to you guys right here on this podcast. If I can find peace of mind driving on New York City streets, do you feel me? Then you better listen to what I got to say to you when I come out here every week. Listen to my content, look at my podcast, share it, apply it to your life, okay? Because I'm trying to help everyone move a little bit better, understand how this world's going to move, what you need to succeed properly. Now, succeed is getting a car and money and stuff because you still be miserable if that's all you're looking for. Know what's in you. Accept who you are. Easier to accept. And when you do that, it's easier to accept everything and everyone around you. You can start planning accordingly, moving accordingly, have proper, realistic expectations, and you have more peace of mind. You see how that moves? So I feel I know what I'm talking about. I got a lot of experience with a lot of things, you know, and I'm sharing it with you. So I think that's about all I got. But remember, accept things for what they are. You have a better understanding for what it is. You know what to expect from people and things. You could plan accordingly. You would have an honest level of expectations about people and about yourself. And then you have a lot less room to be complaining because you understand how things are. You're not going to have everything you want. Don't practice being complainative because you push everything out the way. You could block your blessings from you. You got to trust that you move a certain way according to these laws that are proper success for things to work out properly. It's going to work for you. People say the laws of the universe, it's the laws of the universe. It's the laws that the Creator put down for all of us right here. You complain, it just shows that most people don't have that level of understanding and acceptance of who the Father is and who the Creator is. Therefore, you're not going to understand what the laws are about. You don't know how the laws are about. You're not going to know how things move. What causes things to have an optimal state of operation. You don't know how things move, then you can't possibly have a proper acceptance of things. Come on now, it's easy. I'm trying to make it easy. I went through a lot of rough stuff, still going through things, man, and I see a lot of people, they're still looking for it. I'm going to help you get there. But anyways, that concludes this podcast. I don't want to keep going on and on and on. I think I've said more than enough that I need to say. Learn to accept, and accept that this is the end of the podcast. Watch out for me next week for another beautiful, exciting road on inspiration and individual growth. And log into my website, leave comments, go on YouTube, all that stuff on iTunes, Google Play. Anyways, stay blessed, everyone. Love you all.